Hi everybody, it's Laura from Green Tree, and today we're talking about healthy snacks and snacking. So we're going to talk a little bit about the different things that you can snack on and also some habits you can get in to make your snacking healthier overall. So first things first is to figure out whether or not you actually need a snack. Because we can all snack for different reasons, and I think we've all had those moments. My table's getting wobbly, guys. We've all had those moments where we're just kind of bored, and that's why we're looking for a snack. Or we're actually, a lot of the times, dehydrated, and that's why we want a snack. So one of the first things to figure out is, why are you looking for a snack? Are you actually hungry? In which case, go for it. And if not, then you might consider doing something that changes up what you're doing, especially if you want a snack because you're bored. Then it can be a really good time to get up, go take a walk, maybe switch projects, just change up what you're doing generally. And a lot of times having a drink of water or something similar will be enough to get rid of that if you're not truly hungry. Drinks are something that we often don't think of when we're snacking, but drinks are really important for a couple of reasons. One, they often have a lot of, not so much hidden, but sugar that we don't think about. So especially sodas, lemonades, certain kinds of juices will have quite a bit of sugar. Even in coffee, sometimes we go and we spoon in one after the other, and that can add a lot of calories to your snack. So when you're snacking, consider your beverage choice. Something like sparkling water. This has, I'm going to shake it a little bit, it shouldn't explode, but it's got those nice bubbles that you're going to get from soda, so it satisfies in that way, but it doesn't add a bunch of extra calories, so you can have more actual snack, which is really nice. Another reason that it's good to drink something while you're snacking is because part of what makes your body feel full is volume. And if you're adding volume in the form of a liquid that doesn't have a bunch of extra additives in it, you're going to feel full faster, and then you can get back to what you were doing and worry about really filling up at your next meal. So beverages are good for that reason. They also help you stay hydrated, which will make you feel less hungry as well. So unsweetened drinks are a great option when you're looking for a good snack. Another thing to consider, especially if you're snacking when you're bored, is this snack actually interesting? Will I feel satisfied after I've had it? And one way to make sure that your snack is interesting is to give it texture. Don't have a bunch of bland, squishy things that aren't going to give you that sensation in your mouth of really eating something. You want to make sure you've got some variety. So something like these multi-seed crackers, I have some actually on the dish, but if I pick it up, I'll pour crackers all over the camera. So you can see they've got lots of texture and unique little things in them. And this is going to give you more satisfaction than something that's just like a potato chip or a cookie that's kind of all one bland texture. Other things to consider in that regard are things like cucumbers and carrots, foods that have some crunch to them. And then also different colors. So things like, and it may not sound like an exciting snack, but they're actually really good. Things like prunes can be really tasty. Dried fruits, things that have a color variety, and you're not just eating kind of a brown, bland looking snack. If you've got some fruits and veggies, you've got some dried fruits, maybe you're gonna throw some blueberries in there. And so having something that's visually appealing and texturally varied will make your snack more satisfying without you having to eat as much. Whereas if you just go for something like a cheese, which cheese is actually a great snack food, and I'll talk a little more about why in a while. This is a vegan cheese. But it's a great snack food, but because it is kind of bland in color and mild in that texture as well, it doesn't give you as much sensation and satisfaction when you're eating it. So if you can have a few different little things, you're going to enjoy your snack more. Now, the other thing is when you're eating your snack, and there's no exact number, it kind of depends on your body size, your activity level, how long it's been since you've eaten, but as a general rule, if it starts to top out above 250 calories or so, it's trending in the meal category and not so much snack. So again, to be able to have a more interesting variety, you can have things that are higher fat, which will help you feel full for longer, like cheese, and then things that are that higher volume with lots of water and fiber, like a cucumber. And by blending those things together, you're going to have both a healthier and a more satisfying snack experience. Another thing to consider, especially if you're a regular snacker, is when do you get hungry? When in the day? What meal have you had before that snack that you're regularly feeling hungry before your next meal? It might sound like kind of a simple thing, but if you think about it and you say, well, I always get hungry an hour or two before lunch. Is there something different you could have with your breakfast so you're not going to be as hungry if snacking isn't convenient for you at that time? Another thing to consider would be, is it always after lunch? Maybe your lunch is missing something. Are you always grabbing something quick on the go, like a couple of snack packs, and then you find yourself eating, an extra cupcake in the afternoon, which, we all want to do sometimes, but on a daily basis, it might be throwing off your eating patterns if your meals aren't satisfying. Then finally, when you have figured out why you're snacking, if there's something you can do to prevent that regular hunger from coming up, what items are great to snack on for health reasons? Like which ones are going to be both satisfying and filling? And like I said, you want variety. You don't want to have a ton of sweet or a ton of fat. You want to have some of each. That's why dried fruits are a really good option, and so are fresh fruits. I almost pulled the camera over. Sorry, guys. They're going to give you two different things. A dried fruit is a more concentrated burst of the sugar and fiber. So it's going to give you a fairly quick boost, but it's not necessarily going to keep you full quite as long because the fresh fruit has that volume from the water. So you're going to get more hydrated and you're going to get to eat more of the fruit for the same number of calories, because think about like a raisin versus a grape. There's a serious size difference there. If you eat a cup of raisins versus a cup of grapes, the nutritional value is going to be different even though they're the same fruit, because of that absence of water concentrating down the nutrients and the sugars. So you got to think about what you want. Do you want a quick boost, or do you want something that's going to stick with you for a while? Then, as I said, that volume is good. Like, to have the volume will make you feel full right away. But with something like a cucumber or carrot sticks or other less sweet veggies, it's going to make you feel full, but it's going to be digested faster. So you want to add in something like cheese. I just dropped one over there. I'll get it back in a second. Don't worry about it. Cheeses, whether they be dairy or non-dairy, because they are a good source of both fat and protein. Two things that make you feel full for longer. So if you add a couple squares of cheese or a dollop of peanut butter, for example, or pepita butter, if you can't do peanuts, this is like a sunflower seed and pumpkin seed blend, which is kind of cool. It's going to give you that texture variety. It's going to give you something that will keep you feeling full for a longer period of time. And it's going to give you that feeling of satisfaction because you've had the sweet, you've had the savory, you've had the different textures in your snack. So, variety is key, and you want to have your fiber, your protein, which you can get with something like these seed crackers, a little bit of fat, and plenty of textural and color variation. Then you're going to have a much better snacking experience, and you're going to feel better afterwards. You're not going to get that sudden sugar rush and then crash, which is always a bummer. When you're feeling so hungry, you need to eat something right now. That's when you grab those problematic foods. We won't say bad foods, but they might have their issues, and you're just not going to feel as well as a result. And then the final tip that I'm going to give you is when you're having your snack, focus on it. Pay attention to what you're eating. Use that as a little time out moment to enjoy the textures and the flavors and everything that that food has to offer. If you can, go ahead and put it on an actual plate or in a bowl. Do something like, I'm going to try and pick this up without spilling it. Do something where you can really look at your food, spread out, and say, wow, that's a really nice variety of things that I'm getting to eat here. Because if you make it feel like an experience and you make it feel like a meal, you're going to satisfy that hunger psychologically as well as physically, and it's going to stick with you longer and you'll feel better about it afterwards. So hopefully those are some helpful tips that you guys can enjoy when you're having your snack experiences. And if you need a snack this afternoon, come down and see me. I'll be sampling out some of these healthy snack options until about 5:30. And in the meantime, I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. See you next week. Bye.